Okay, so this film is best well known for being reviewed by one Noah Antweiler, aka the Spoony One, years ago now, or up to 15 years ago, potentially. It was featured, I believe, as part of the. He would review features with Reb Brown as part of a Rebuary. Maybe it was just a film he decided to review in any case, and regardless of what month it was. It was a very memorable moment. The clip of which you'll see at the end of this video of your hang gliding in on a dead kind of large bat creature. Yeah, it was used as part of his theme opening intro for many years. Well, not many years. In any case, that's what You're the Hunter from the Future is best known as now. And it's interesting that Antonio Margheriti has a reputation of being the better of these horror exploitation filmmakers, to the extent that a character in Inglourious Basterds was named after him. Just demonstrating that Tarantino is a fan. And I believe one of the films that DiCaprio's character in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, when he stars in a spaghetti western directed by Antonio Margheriti. I believe they mention this, or Eurospy, or either or. Anyway, the point is how fascinating it is that Antonio Margheriti is. You'd think this was like Claudio Fragasso or Bruno Mattei or one of these other jokes who directed You're the Hunter. I mean, I like those guys to some degree, or like one of like Joe D'Amato's lesser pictures. But no, it's possibly the less. I don't know if it's not even the worst Antonio Margheriti film, because there's some of the kind of more comedic titles he directed. I might be confusing certain films for his that aren't. Give me one moment. Yeah, some of these comedies like Whiskey and Ghosts, or his first feature, Legs of Gold, they're kind of rubbish. I'd assumed he directed certain better Lenzi films, which he had not. And then there's also 1972's House of 1000 Pleasures, which is... I decided we're just not going to review that for AOD. It shall not be acknowledged. So, what explains You're the Hunter from the Future? How did we get here? Well, Eduardo Margheriti can explain to us, hopefully. In 1982, Antonio finally managed to satisfy his eternal desire to make a film based on a comic, You're the Hunter, by Juan Zanotto and Ray Collins, published in Italy by Edizioni Lancio NDA, an action story and of adventure on an alien planet very similar to Earth, where prehistoric monsters, Stone Age men, ape-like creatures, and superior beings of a highly advanced but almost extinct civilization coexist. In the world of Yore, there is everything: monsters, battles, love, spaceships, laser rifles, robots, and prehistoric men. A contamination of genres to the 9th degree, exactly what Antonio loved, and of which he was a specialist since his first works. It seemed like a comic conceived precisely for the taste and artistic orientation of Antonio Margheriti, who in fact did not let it slip away. The film was made almost entirely in Turkey, in the wonderful lunar landscapes of Cappadocia, and on the lava coasts of Antalya. Hey, Antalya, fun. The project was born as a television miniseries in 4 episodes from which to make a 2-hour film for cinematographic exploitation, especially for the American market and home video. The film version was distributed in the United States by RCA Columbia with great success among the public, really, and surprise for distributors themselves, managing to enter the top 10 at the box office. Wow. For mysterious reasons, RAI did not broadcast the 4-episode series, except late at night and after several years, where obviously entire sequences appeared that were absent in the film version. But that doesn't explain why the film looks how it looks. It doesn't have the slickness or the care and craftsmanship associated with other Margheriti films. I don't know how much sword and sorcery or like post-Conan sort of Howard-esque fantasy he engaged in, compared with like Fulci's film Conquest is amazing. Lenzi's Ironmaster is one of Lenzi's best. And the only Margheriti equivalent to my knowledge is Yor, I believe. The prehistoric monsters, Eduardo Margheriti continued, the prehistoric monsters that infest the planet of the world of Yor are a fundamental element in the film and were built in life size, one even exceeded 15 meters in length and almost 600 kilos in weight. It was a creature born from Antonio's imagination, a cross between a stegosaurus and a triceratops, which was actually a harmless vegetarian. The mechanisms for the movements were exclusively mechanical and were controlled by some people, including me, inside the monster itself. Working with constructions on a one-by-one scale and of such dimensions was not easy, but in the film you can feel the physicality and an interaction between the protagonist and the various prehistoric creatures, which makes some sequences full of tension and drama. Wait, does it now? A more complex but higher quality choice than the Step 1, a technique for which small and articulated puppets are used, which are filmed by a special camera which shoots one frame at a time, and on which at the end of the filming, the image of the actor fighting against a neutral background, by Ray Harryhausen, in films such as The Lost World, presumably the 1925 film, and Clash of the Titans. Because Lost World 1960, that's slurposaurs and bad suits and stuff, to my memory. Definitely slurposaurs. Or if you want to stay in Italy, by Armando Valcauda, creator of the special effects of Star Crash. That's a classic. Or Hercules. Oh, Luigi Cosi's Hercules. Both of those, especially the second one of the digital effects at the end. Those are really, I don't know if they're digital, but God, they're really interesting. Both directed by Luigi Cosi, and who collaborated with Antonio himself on La Humanoid by Aldo Lado. That's a good movie. We gotta acknowledge it on this channel eventually. Antonio decided he wanted to try this experiment, having the monsters created in life size, starting from a metal skeleton covered with layers of foam, rubber, latex, fiberglass, and anything else for the body and skin. We built all the creatures seen in the film with this system, obtaining a good result. Yeah, you kind of did. Well... Special effects of that kind, without the aid of computer graphics, seemed unachievable at the beginning of the 80s, but Antonio wanted to do them and succeeded. If you say so. It still doesn't answer any of my questions, but silly me to expect any questions about You're the Hunter of the Future's existence to be answered. How inane. What a world we live in, man.